In the heart of a picturesque suburban neighborhood, nestled among towering trees and well-kept lawns, there stood a house unlike any other. The Bennett family, consisting of Mark, Sarah, and their 2 children, Emily and Ethan, had recently moved into the grand, 2-story Victorian residence. It was a dream come true, a place where they hoped to build lasting memories. The house, with its weathered charm and ornate architecture, had stood empty for years, its previous owners having fled in the dead of night, leaving behind whispers of strange occurrences and a sense of unease that clung to the walls like a sinister secret. At first, the Bennett family dismissed the rumors as mere tales told by superstitious neighbors. But as the days turned into weeks, they began to experience a series of inexplicable events that shattered their skepticism. It started with the subtlest of occurrences, a misplaced set of keys, a door left ajar, and objects that seemed to shift from one room to another. Mark and Sarah chalked it up to the stress of moving and the children's playful antics, but the unease began to gnaw at them. One evening, as Sarah was preparing dinner in the kitchen, she heard the faintest whisper, a disembodied voice that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. The words were unintelligible, but the tone was unmistakable. A haunting, malevolent presence had made itself known. Mark, too, began to experience odd sensations. He would wake in the middle of the night to find shadows moving at the periphery of his vision, as if something lurked just beyond the reach of sight. He kept his experiences to himself, fearing that he might be succumbing to the same paranoia that had driven the previous owners away. Emily and Ethan, although young, were not immune to the strangeness that enveloped their new home. They spoke of an imaginary friend, a spectral playmate they called the Whispering Child. Their descriptions were unsettling, as they claimed the child had pale, translucent skin and eyes that seemed to hold the weight of the ages. As the weeks turned into months, the malevolent presence within the house intensified. The whispers grew louder, their words filled with malice, and the shadows that moved in the darkness took on a sinister, palpable form. Sarah, unable to ignore the mounting fear that gripped her family, decided to seek help. She reached out to paranormal investigators, hoping to find answers to the inexplicable events plaguing their lives. The investigators arrived with their equipment, ready to confront the supernatural. As they delved deeper into the house's history, they uncovered a dark and tragic past. The house had once been the residence of a reclusive artist named Eliza Thornfield, who had lived there in seclusion for decades. Eliza's art had been a reflection of her descent into madness, her paintings filled with grotesque and otherworldly visions. It was said that Eliza had become obsessed with unlocking the secrets of the afterlife, conducting forbidden rituals within the house's walls. Her experiments had attracted the attention of dark forces, and her art had become a conduit for malevolent entities to enter the mortal realm. The investigators concluded that the malevolent presence within the house was a result of Eliza's obsession and the dark energies she had unleashed. To banish the entity and bring peace to the Bennett family, they would need to perform a cleansing ritual, a dangerous and unpredictable endeavor. As the night of the ritual approached, the house's activity escalated to a terrifying crescendo. Objects flew across rooms, spectral figures materialized in the darkness, and the whispers grew into a cacophony of torment. The night of the ritual arrived, and the investigators, accompanied by Mark, Sarah, and their children, gathered in the house's living room. Candles flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls, as the investigators chanted incantations meant to banish the malevolent entity. Suddenly, the house seemed to rebel against their efforts. The walls trembled, and the entity unleashed its full fury. The very air crackled with malevolence as the entity fought to maintain its hold on the house. Mark and Sarah clung to each other, their children huddled close, as the battle between the investigators and the malevolent entity raged on. The house seemed to come alive, its very structure contorting and twisting in defiance. But in a final, desperate act, the investigators chanted the ritual's climax, their voices a force of light and purity. The entity screamed, its form dissipating into a whirlwind of darkness before vanishing entirely. As the dust settled, the house fell silent, its malevolent presence finally banished. The investigators offered their reassurances that the Bennett family could now live in peace, free from the torment that had plagued them for so long. Mark, Sarah, Emily, and Ethan moved forward, determined to put the darkness of their past behind them. The house, once a place of fear, had become a sanctuary, a testament to the strength of their family bond and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of malevolent forces. Years passed, and the whispers of the malevolent entity became a distant memory. The Bennett family thrived in their newfound home, filling it with love, laughter, and cherished memories. The shadows of the past had been vanquished, and the house, once haunted, had become a place of warmth and light. And so, the family that had faced the malevolent presence within their walls emerged stronger, their love for each other a shield against the darkness that had once threatened to consume them. They had conquered the malevolent entity that had sought to feed on their fear, and in doing so, they had found the true strength of their family bond. The house that had once been a source of terror had become a sanctuary, a place where Mark, Sarah, Emily, and Ethan could live their lives free from the haunting whispers of the PA.